Let me grab this. Let me switch this to that. And do that. Thoughts. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. Alright, I think we talked about this a lot, and I think I think Facade gave a pretty good conclusion. So we're not gonna like spend an hour on this, probably. Maybe, hopefully. Um like I've been saying throughout the game, this game is fun. It has a lot of like cool things going for it, but it's ultimately like a very one-note game for me. It's a fun physics game. That's what the game is for the most part, and that's mostly because a lot of the other things that this game does, other games have just done better than it. Like I would never, if someone wants like a game with a lot of branching paths and like different ways to approach doing a mission, like I wouldn't recommend this game for that. Even though this game does that and it does it in a fun way, I just think there's other games that do that better. And the same would apply to everything, right? If someone's a good story, I don't think this is necessarily like a really good story game. It does have some branching on the story, which is cool. But ultimately, it doesn't feel like stuff that like makes a huge difference. I also think that a lot of the puzzles in this, and stuff like that ends up feeling very mediocre over time. Like when we started the game, it was real fun exploring. I was like, oh, we found a secret. But then you're kind of like, oh, but like these secrets aren't really worth anything. Because you mostly just get resources or things you can't use. It's like, oh, you know, I had a lot of stuff in my inventory that were just for, oh, this is if you're doing an archer build. This is if you're doing like a heavy build or a two-handed build or whatever, or a stealth build. And you can't do anything with that. There's no vendor to go sell it to like buy better equipment for yourself. You can't like scrap it to upgrade your stuff. You can there's a weird like mini forge game you can do where you can forge a sword. That's it. You just forge a sword. If you can't use the sword, then that's kind of like whatever. It feels a lot like a oh god, what? It's not called a pilot, but like a test. It feels a lot like a thing they made. Like, you know, here's like our idea for what like a huge open world Heroes of Might and Magic game could be like, right? Like, if you imagine this game, but like scaled over a huge open world, like something like Skyrim or whatever. You travel around, you pick stuff up, you sell it. You have this like kind of cool rope mechanic where you can shoot a bow to get a rope down places, lots of secrets. Could be really cool. But I think as the game stands, it has one thing going for it that it does really well, and that thing is fun enough that, you know, if you get someone to play this game, they can have a lot of fun with that. Just chucking barrels at people and stuff. Really, it's satisfying for sure. But I would say after like 6 hours, I was very done with it. I was like, all right, I've chucked enough barrels at people now that that's not really that much fun. But then everything in the game kind of just keeps me in the same thing, which is like, oh, look, there's a thing you can knock down, and then enemies can fall over, and then enemies fall over and die. Oh, there's another thing you can kick an enemy into so they instantly die. That's kind of the entire game. The game is cheap, so you can't refault to that, and it's old. If no other game had like done a lot of the stuff this game does better, then this game is like a huge gig I recommend. As it stands, this would be like I would put this in like the play this if it looks like fun column. It's like, hey, if what you saw with this game, if the pictures of it look like fun, play it. If not, then whatever. And that's kind of like built on a lot of the systems in the game being pretty lackluster. Like we talked about the skill system, for instance, right? You have like a talent tree where you can put skill points into. So you can do different builds. You can basically do like a melee build, a ranged build, a stealth build, or a mage build, or like a combination of them. And that's overall cool. But ultimately, a lot of the things you put points into aren't that interesting. The spells are different, so that's different. But then it's like, oh, you know, if you put points into melee, now you do two more damage. That's kind of what that does overall. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Not a bad game at all by any stretch of imagination. Definitely fun and super good for its time, right? Like this was a great game for its time. I don't know how well it ran back then, but I can see it. They probably needed money for this honor, so they took the mechanics they had already programmed and took an Ubisoft contract. Yeah, and I think this is a good like. I don't remember what word I'm looking for, But I think this is a good, like, proof of concept, right? Ran real well. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, 2 more damage. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you're doing 2 more damage now. I think this is a great proof of concept. Like, if Ubisoft saw this and they were like, yo, guys, can you make, like, first of all, I don't know if the Source Engine can actually support that, but if it could, you know, going like, hey, can you guys make, like, an open world game with this? Like, a huge open world game with, like, you know, with, like, inventory systems and all this, other things? Could have been huge, honestly. But yeah, as it stands, how about 8 less damage? Oh yeah. Don't you mean... Oh yeah, I guess you needed 8 less, yeah. That's true. Uh... Alright, let's jump over to our Firefox. Let's start with some stuff here. So the average time to play this game is 10:18. So that seems pretty reasonable. 10:18. We played this game for Dark Messiah. We played this game for 10 hours. And the time is 10 hours. On our scale, 10 flawless masterpiece, 9 everyone should play this, 8 great experience worth playing, 7 good, play if you like the genre, 6 alright, play if it sounds fun. I think a 6.5 is a good rating. That's exactly what I was thinking. Fasal was spot on with that one. Like, I think a 6.5 for this game is on the Endaline scale. Like, on the critic scale, a 6.5 means this game is garbage. Don't play it at any cost. On the Endaline scale, that's like pretty decent rating. It's it's not awful by any stretch of imagination. It's just like a hey, if this sounds like fun, play it. If it had slightly more fleshed out mechanics, could definitely make it to like a 7 for sure. But as it stands, you know, that's the other games I would recommend over this. This is more like, hey, if it looks like fun, you'll probably have fun with it. It's cheap. You can probably play this for like 2, 3, 4 hours and have fun with it. Come back to it in like 3 years, play it for a couple of hours again, have fun with it. That's pretty much where I'm at. Yeah, critic score is a 7.2. So I think our rating is pretty spot on there. We're usually like 1 point below critics. That puts Dark Messiah between Helltaker and Yakuza 3. I think this is fair. I think this is fair. If anything, I maybe rated Yakuza 3 a little bit too low, but... Alright, let's put it on the list. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. Here, it goes right there. No big surprise there. I've already said that for retro games, it's hard to judge retro games for me. Like, I'm not gonna put them on the same scale as basically anything else. Oh, this one. But if you had like a gun to man and you said Endaline, you have to pick either Dark Messiah or Castlevania to play for the rest of your life. I would easily pick Dark Messiah. That's not even like a contest. But if you had a gun to me and said Dragon's Dogma or Dark Messiah, I would easily pick Dragon's Dogma. And then again, if you had a gun to my head, you said Red Dead Redemption 2 or Dragon's Dogma, I would pick Red Dead Redemption. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Let's play some Baldur's Gate. Yo, thank you for 1 bit, Hana. How are you doing? Welcome in. Well memed, sir. Dude, that's so loud still. I need to upload the less loud version. God damn it. I was looking for my dashboard, but I'm in the wrong browser. Why do I have 2 of these open? There we go. Let's see here. Baldur's Gate 2. Is it 2 like that? Ha ha ha! Well memed, sir. Just need to do a little bit of... need to do that. Well memed, sir. Oh, not man, I shall perish.